that a second cop had just come up, a second police car, and pulled down his window and said, "Hey, you guys," to him, kind of just like, "Is everything all right? Or do you need backup?" kind of thing. Backup? Are you kidding? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Annie, and if this is your first time on this channel, just first stop, subscribe, like, comment, reshare, repost, all that good stuff. But yeah, before we get started, I just want to leave a little bit of a disclaimer for those of you guys who, you know, might not want to hear this. There's nothing really visual or graphic or anything, but it is talking about a sensitive topic about racism in this country, and I just feel like I have to put this out here because I've experienced it, and I believe that if you have any kind of platform, speak up against it and talk about what you feel and how you feel. And you know, I've been bothered for the past few days, so it just felt right to put a little statement or a little experience out here with everyone, so you guys can all kind of see what we all deal with on a daily basis. So yeah, it's a little bit hard, but I'm gonna do so. So we've all been hearing all the reports, everything been going on the past few weeks, but this is not just the beginning of it. This has been going on for years, way before I ever came to this country or even this world, way before my parents got here. It's been going on for a very long time, and the end of racism or the end of slavery didn't end the discrimination that African Americans face on a daily in this country. It's just in our daily lives. It doesn't matter what kind of lifestyle you carry out. Just because of the color of your skin, you're judged so harshly before you can even prove yourself or even represent yourself in the light that you best know is fitting for you. So I'm gonna start out with a little story that I don't even want to call it little, but I feel that in comparison to what we see on the news, I call my story little, but it's still my truth, and it's just a little bit of what I've experienced throughout my life. And I think this is just one of my first time I ever got in an encounter with a police officer without my parents being there, without driving or anything. So yeah, so where my school is located, there's an area where I usually run in the streets because I feel like it's fastest for me to just run for 30 minutes and go do my work or whatever I'm doing instead of going to the gym for an hour or two, you know? So my sister and I, we usually run through the neighborhood. If you don't know, I have a twin sister, so we look exactly alike. And we've been doing this since our sophomore year of college. So basically, we run through the circle every day. It's a pathway. There is a part of it where there's more trees, but for the most part, everything's a sidewalk. And it can look a little foresty, but it's still a sidewalk. It's still a path for running or walking, you know? And there's usually other people there because we run at like 5 p.m. We change our time based on the saving daylights, whether it's fall back or spring forward, because we want to make sure that we're running when it's still bright outside, you know? We don't want to run when it's dark outside and it can be dangerous, or we can seem as a threat for the most part to other people. Now, long before, you know, this encounter I had with the police officer happened, we usually get catcalls, we usually get honking. It doesn't matter if I'm wearing full-on long sleeve shirts, long leggings, whatever I'm wearing, I get called, honked at, whatever. You know, and we try to minimize this a little bit by running with a friend, one of our friends. He's a guy, he's tall, and you know, it helped a little bit, that minimized and stuff. But you know, as life happens, we couldn't always find it in our schedules to run with him, and it would always continue whenever he wasn't there. And you know, at first we would think, oh, was that our friend honking, someone from the school? But the more and more we saw, it was usually truck drivers, you know, people we didn't know at all, who were obviously just using us as a sex appeal. Okay, so flash forward to this date. My sister and I were running, and she had to get to work by 7 o'clock, so I literally had to beg her to go on this run with me, and she decided to go. We were almost done. We were on the straightaway path leading straight to our school, where we'd basically be done with our run by the time we finished the straightaway path. And it was probably around 6:40-ish. It was still very bright outside, you know, daylight. I was wearing a pink t-shirt and I was wearing some shorts. As I was running, my necklace snapped because I ran with my fingers going straight forward, and so I think my thumb must have slipped and my necklace snapped in half. Basically, the pendant fell out into the grass somewhere, and because it was a real gold necklace, my mother gave it to me. I was, you know, very anxious, very sad, very nervous. I wanted to look for it immediately, like, because I knew I was standing in the spot, and rather than just walking off and saying goodbye to it, I knew I could find it probably if I looked immediately. It happened. So my sister was rushing to go, so she told me I have work in a few minutes, I have to go. She helped me look for a little bit, and for the most part, it'd been like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Then by like the 10-minute mark, she left. So I was still there looking, And because of the time it was, you know, people were coming back from school. It was a middle school nearby, so people were getting picked up from the middle school, stuff like that. And so there's usually like cars driving by to pick up their kids from sports and stuff. So it was almost at the end of the time period where like all the cars usually clear off. Like at the time, it was almost at the time where all the cars clear off and there's no more cars left over, all that stuff. So I was still looking, and the next thing you know, I see a police car come towards me, and I just assumed that, you know, there's police cars usually passing by, so it's just one of those things. I didn't even really think of it because I was still looking for my necklace. You know, I couldn't find it. As I was looking, oh, actually, so before that, I just remembered. So what happened was I was still wearing my gym clothes, my running clothes, and I decided maybe if I go to my dorm, because my dorm is literally 5 seconds away. So if I walk back to my dorm, shake off my clothes, check very well for my clothes, through my clothes, see if I can find anything in it. If there's no pendant in there, I'll drive back in my car. I'll change to normal clothes, get out of my sweaty clothes, get in my car, drive back to school, and see if I can find it. So that's what I did. I went back to my dorm, shook it out, didn't see any pendant there. So I got my car keys, because we usually just run the whole thing, so we don't even drive. So I wanted to go drive back this time instead of wasting time, because I didn't want it to be dark. I wanted to hurry up before it got dark outside. So that's what I did. So I go to my dorm, change clothes. So I had just come back from my dorm, driving in my car, my changed clothes, and I went back to the original spot. While I was looking for my pendant on the floor, it had probably been like 5 minutes in. I was pretty much rushing because I wanted to look for it while it was still bright outside. I wasn't even thinking about, you know, trying to get inside before it was dark. I was just thinking about finding my necklace while it's still bright outside. So then the cops come over, I see a police car, he comes up to me, and then he asks me,
"Ma'am, are you good?"
I kind of like, he tried being polite about it, but in my head, I kind of knew that it was like, probably just kind of like a, "what are you doing?" kind of question. And I was just like, yeah, you know, I'm looking for my pendant on the floor. And I mean, I didn't feel like I looked intimidating or anything, but maybe I looked intimidating. But I was looking through the floor, I was on my knees, I had a flashlight looking for my pendant. And I just told him, yeah, I lost my pendant while I was running a few minutes ago, so I'm just, you know, looking through the floor looking through the grass for my pendant. So he just kind of like said,
"Okay, well, I can help you."
Kind of just like, I'm gonna stay and make sure that people feel safe, I guess, while I'm there. It's a predominantly white neighborhood, so I definitely 99% sure that probably someone saw me and called the cops, like there's someone strange doing something over there. I don't know if they thought I was planning a bomb. I don't know what they think I could have been doing, but I do run through that neighborhood every day for the past 2 years, so it was a little bit weird to me that someone, you know, would have called rather than come up and ask me what I was doing, or just, you know, check and keep on looking at me, keep an eye on me themselves and see that nothing's wrong. I just feel like, just in general, you know, it's easy to just put a target on someone because they don't look like you and just be like intimidated automatically. The first natural instinct is just to be intimidated or scared, but I'm a harmless girl. I'm a teenager. I'm looking through, I'm literally, I don't even know, but my dad always tells me that people who wear glasses always look the least intimidating. I wear glasses. I just, in that moment, I wasn't thinking about any of that stuff. I just kept on looking through the grass. I wasn't thinking if I was intimidating anyone, or if, you know, maybe someone would see me and be scared. I wasn't thinking about that stuff because nobody was really passing on that sidewalk. So then he comes up to me and he's like,
"I'm gonna make a U-turn and then come join you where you are."
Because it was a two-way street coming and going, so he wanted to turn around and join me and to look for it. On that moment, I already made a mental decision in my head to just look for like 2 more minutes with him and just be like, I'm good, because I don't want to be around a cop for too long. With everything I've been seeing in the news, it makes sense why I wouldn't be comfortable, you know, staying with a cop for that long. So I went on to just continue looking for my pendant while he was turning around, but I noticed through the corner of my eye that a second cop had just come up, a second police car, and pulled down his window and said, "Hey, you guys," to him, kind of just like, "Is everything all right? Or do you need backup?" kind of thing. Backup? Are you kidding me? So I ignored it, but my heart literally dropped. I was like, someone did call the cops on me. My suspicions were right, because there is no way, coincidentally, there'd be 2 police officer cars right there. There's no football game going on. It's a normal Tuesday night. Nothing, you know, nothing really weird's happening, but 2 cars were there. So obviously someone called the cops on me. So he comes around and he starts like pretending to help, looking. He's like,
"What does it look like?"
All that. I just made sure I stayed really respectful because I didn't want anything to be, you know, taken out the wrong way or make it seem, I didn't want to seem suspicious at all, like I wasn't really looking for a necklace. I was lucky I had the gold bracelet, the gold chain in my hand still to show him, but for the most part it was pretty awkward. And then he was like making jokes like,
oh darn, I wish I had a metal detector. That would be useful right about now, right?
and I was just like, yeah. But I felt very uncomfortable. So after less than a minute, honestly, I was like, you know what, it's getting late. I also have to get to my school dining hall. Carried my student ID with him, and I told him where I was from, the school I go to. I was like, I'm from this school, that's where I live. If anything, you can just give my ID. You can just, if you find it, because he was like,
oh, I will be on the lookout for you and stuff.
And I was like, sure. I knew obviously he wasn't gonna look for my necklace after I left. So I was like, if you do see anything, you can just give it to this school police department and just tell them my name. And just, yeah. So basically, that's how it ended. But after that, as soon as I left, and I made sure he left first before I went to my car because I just don't want any issues. So I made sure he was gone. Then I got in my car and I went straight to school, and I just started bawling, honestly. I was so upset, not just from losing my necklace, but, you know, just from the fact that such a weird experience would happen to me, just because of the skin color. I'm not naive, I know that's what it was. Every time when I'm running, I usually try to listen to music out loud on my phone so that people who are in front of me won't be scared when I run by. And it's sad that that's the reality, but I have friends who don't have to suffer that same issue when they go on runs. I always have to make sure I'm wearing the most athletic, sporty clothes so people know I'm on a run and I'm not running away from something. I make sure that I'm with my sister. Even when we get in a fight or anything, I always make sure, like, let's just finish this route together. They don't have to talk to me when we get back to our dorms, because it's really imperative that we take these precautions. So now I'm speaking out to you guys, any of people of color who may be running, especially African Americans, particularly. But if you do also face this discrimination in a different race, please make sure you take the precautions that are necessary. If you're going outside by yourself, make sure that you are doing it literally when it's very bright outside, the heat of the day where everyone can see you, or maybe in an area where it's pretty busy. If not, take a partner. I always suggest taking a partner, but if you can't, then you can refer to the first thing I said. Take a partner with you, preferably somebody you're very close to, you know, so if a situation does arise, you know what kind of, how they will react in the face of danger or the face of that situation. Tell somebody else where you're going. If they know you usually go on a run, tell them. And if you're not constantly running in the daytime, you want to run at night, maybe after work, try not to run at the same time every night, so no one's watching you, you know, no one's developing, oh, that's the pattern that they always go on or the route they always go on. Make sure you're very safe. And for the most part, if you do get stopped by anyone or by a cop, make sure you're very respectful the whole time, because you know, even if you do comply with them, as we've seen, they still do not care. They will still find a reason to be microaggressive and to continue being, you know, brutal and forceful. And if that kind of stuff does happen, your partner can be there to take a recording of you or something, like what happened, and then we can now spread awareness about it. If you or anyone have personally dealt with this kind of stuff, I'm pretty sure there are platforms out there. I'll put it in the description or I'll put it up here. People you can call for aid, people you can talk to, counseling, all that stuff, so you can get rid of the trauma. I know the trauma can never really disappear, but we can try our best, you know, to eliminate the day-to-day stress and sadness and trauma that comes with it. We continue speaking up for what we believe in, using our platforms to spread awareness, and just talking to the people you know in your community, letting them know how they can also support people in the African American community. A lot of people probably feel really weirded out about it because they feel like it's not their place, but everyone can definitely raise their voice to this injustice. I also wanted to mention that I have 3 little brothers, and obviously they're all Black African American males being raised in the US. I know it's very weird to talk about violence with them at this young age, but we have to start now. If you are a mother or father to these 2 Black children, please let them know of the injustice that is occurring right now, so that they can also start learning. They probably have already faced racism at their young age. I know my brothers have. I want to make sure that we create a world where we all know what's happening. Let's not be ignorant. Let's let everyone know, so that we can also take the precautions that we need. We can't be with our children or our siblings 24/7, so we need to make sure they understand what's going on. If you have parents who may not be talking about it with your younger siblings, talk about it with your siblings, which is what I've been doing, talking about it, actively letting them know. Watching films, The Hate U Give is a very good example of what's been going on. Just use these films as examples to them so they know that this is our reality. We all have to wake up. I think if I can do my part by talking to this platform, you can also do your part. Be posting stuff on social media, but not only stopping there. Making sure that you say something when you see something. Bringing out your phones when you see something like that happening, when you see any kind of brutality or any kind of police engagement that is wrong. Be mindful of what you see going on around you. Don't be ignorant. As you've seen everywhere, just saying, oh, I don't say anything racist or I don't hold people to stereotypes is not enough. Being neutral or saying I don't see color is still racism within itself. It means you're not accepting the different cultures that we bring and accepting our differences, but knowing at heart that we're all humans. It makes it seem like you just don't care or you're turning a blind eye to it. Let's all make sure we do our parts. Take the precautions you need when you're running. To all my people out there, you know who you are. Make sure that we're all doing what's right for us and make sure that we all lean on each other. We need each other more than ever. I will continue to pray for this country, and I'll continue to pray for all the people who have been affected personally by this matter of police brutality. I think we can do better, so let's do better today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe, comment if you have any personal stories, or if you just want to talk, DM me. I'm here for you guys. And just make sure that we all keep an open mind. Obviously, this platform is a safe space, this YouTube space. I might only have 69 subscribers, but I know that I can impact if I can impact one person, I'm doing the right thing. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye guys, stay safe.